Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Do You Agree, the sports talk show. Today is Season 4, Episode 2 for you guys on the camera. As always, I'm your host, Collin Spike, alongside with my friend and co-host, Jason Hoffman. Jace, we had conference championships this past weekend, and man, they were pretty interesting to watch.
I'll tell you what, Spike, it's a beautiful Tuesday here in Columbia, South Carolina, and we had a hell of a conference championship Sunday. Man, I can't wait for the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 55. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so obviously, neither of us predicted the Bucs-Packers correct. Tom Brady, we even said it in the podcast, you do not bet against Tom Brady. That's what we did, and we were proved wrong. The Bucs go into Lambeau. They win 31-26 in a back-and-forth game, and the Packers almost had their comeback completed. But there was an interesting flag call that may have changed the game.
Yeah, this game was back and forth. It was a battle all throughout. Momentum shifts throughout the game. And it's interesting because when you break it down, the QB comparison, right? Brady, 20 for 36, 280 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, however accompanied by 3 interceptions. Compared to Aaron Rodgers, you look, 33 of 48 for 346 through the air, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. I mean, it's obvious.
Right.
Rodgers outdueled Brady, but the difference here was the Buccaneers defense, and I'll tell you what, this group is playing as ferocious and nasty as they have all season, and it's all about who gets hot at the right time. I'll tell you what, I'll make a reference here because this team, right, kind of reminds me almost exactly like that no-fly zone Denver Broncos defense in the 2015-2016 season with Peyton Manning under center.
Right.
It's very similar situations. You got 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time at the tail end of their careers where they can't exactly get the ball down the field as prolific and as easily as they could in the heat of their prime. However, it doesn't matter because they are getting literally carried by their defenses. I mean, you look at this linebacking core, I know we said it last time, but Devin White and Levante David, accompanied with Shaq Barrett. I mean, these are 3 of arguably the top 10, maybe even, top 7 linebackers in football right now. These guys are flying all over the field, making plays, causing havoc. You look at the front 4 of the Bucs, headlined by Ndamukong Suh and JPP, who have done it for so many years in this league. This defense was able to record 5 sacks on Aaron Rodgers and just cause disruption in the backfield all game long. And this is what made the difference. Right. Aaron Rodgers, he was doing Aaron Rodgers things, making plays and throws that hardly any other quarterback in the league is possible or capable of doing. But it still wasn't enough. This Bucs D absolutely shut down the running game of the Green Bay Packers. Not one rushing touchdown recorded out of Green Bay. And, yes, this D made the difference, but Tom Brady, man, this is his 10th Super Bowl appearance. And let me tell you a statistic. This had us going absolutely nuts today. And let me read this to you folks. Tom Brady has been to 74% of the NFL Conference Championship games since he came into the league in the year 2000. That percentage is higher than LeBron James's free throw percentage. Statistically speaking, Spike, Tom Brady is more likely to appear in a conference championship game than LeBron James is likely to make a free throw. Go.
And you can take it a step further. Tom Brady is entering his 10th Super Bowl out of 21 years in the league. And that is a better percentage at 47% than Steph Curry, potentially the best three-point shooter of all time. That percentage is better than Steph Curry's percentage career from 3-point range.
It's absurd. It is absurd.
These are numbers you get from a video game.
Exactly. And we have all this talk. We'll get to Patrick Mahomes in a second, and there's all this, talk around whether or not he will surpass Brady at some point in his career. But you look at these numbers on paper, how is anybody possibly supposed to get to this man's status? I mean, he's fighting for his 7th ring. 7th ring. And he's at home for the Super Bowl. I mean, you just can't say enough about it. And needless to say, he's got that supporting cast on offense. I mean, Mike Evans showed up, played an incredible game along with Chris Godwin. He had a couple spectacular catches that led to scores. Leonard Fournette, I remember this one play specifically. This guy is as complete of a back as you can possibly ask for. This was the second touchdown that the Buccaneers recorded, and it was a running play to the right. And I'll tell you what, on this specific play that he scored, the combination of speed, agility, strength, awareness, it was the whole package that was on display on this one specific play. And I mean, dude, these Bucs led by Tom Brady. Could we see number 7? Could we see number 7?
It's definitely possible. And I mean, we said it in the podcast, and I said it maybe 2 minutes ago. You're not supposed to bet against Tom Brady.
Yes.
And that's what we did. And you look at the Packers, obviously, the questionable call on not going for it on 4th and goal after the 3rd and goal, where Rodgers could have run for it, but you weren't 100% sure what to do in that situation. And, you go for the field goal just over 2 minutes left, down to 8. And then Aaron Rodgers, in his post-game press conference, said he doesn't know what's going to be next.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns going into this offseason now. And I'm going to have to take some time away for sure and clear my head and just kind of see what's going on with everything.
So as you guys saw, it puts into question, is this the last time we're going to see Aaron Rodgers in a Packers uniform?
It's a great question, and it's a question that I don't have an answer to, and I don't think anybody else has an answer to as of right now. Look, we've seen Rodgers in this same position a couple of years back, which led to the Mike McCarthy firing.
Right.
He was at this same point where he is fed up with the Green Bay organization. I know for damn sure that if it were up to Rodgers, you're going for it on 4th and goal with just over 2 minutes left, down 8. You can't give the ball back to the GOAT.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it countless times over and over and over again. Brady's going to put the game away, nonetheless, in the conference championship to punch the ticket to the Super Bowl. I mean, this script has been written and performed so many times. So, Rodgers, I don't know. I could very likely see him finishing out his career in Green Bay, but I don't know if that's, personally, I don't know if that is in his best interest. I think, he's realizing he's getting up there in age. He's only got a couple years left of his deal, and he's only got 1 ring to his resume for how much of a talent he is. He knows that it's either win or done.
Yeah.
So, is he going to be able to win in Green Bay? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think anybody really knows the answer to this because it kind of comes as a shock. It looks like the relationship he has with LaFleur now is much more healthier. They look like just a better team overall with him at the helm. And obviously, with the decision to trade up in the first round and pick what could be, Rodgers' prodigy in Jordan Love, it's a very debatable situation, and I don't know if it was the right idea, especially when you have him under contract until 2023. But that is just such a question that I don't think anybody really expected to be put onto the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he pretty much blew away the football world with that comment in the post-game interview. And, you know, I feel for him.
Yeah.
I understand his frustration because the problem has never been him. He has, season in, season out, proven his greatness over the years. As I said before and said many times, this is the most talented quarterback that has ever played the position, in my opinion. Now, Patrick Mahomes obviously exists, right? Young career, we'll see. But if you look at it from the long term, Aaron Rodgers is the most talented. Will he be a Green Bay Packer next season? I don't know.
I don't know. But one thing we can say is that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes will both be starting quarterbacks in Buffalo and Kansas City next year. But there's only one of them going to the Super Bowl, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs after a 38-24 win in Arrowhead against the Bills. And, you know, it was tough for me, especially because you know how high I've been on the Bills. I thought they were the only team that could beat Kansas City. And with Patrick Mahomes coming out of the concussion protocol as well as putting up the first 9 points in the first quarter, I was hopeful, and I thought it was going to happen. But after that, it was all Kansas City.
Yeah, rough weekend for you, pal. You went 0-2. But you know what? I stuck to my gut. Patty Mahomes, you know, overcomes this concussion protocol and all this noise. Is he going to be good? Is he going to be 100%? Yep. I mean, he pretty much put those, you know, rumors and statements to rest.
Absolutely.
This guy came out doing Patty Mahomes things, as always. I mean, 29 for 38, 325 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, played just about as perfect a game as you could ask.
It was like he wasn't even in concussion protocol. Like, that hit never happened.
Exactly. And it was the big 3 that really made the difference for KC, as they always do. Patty Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. Tyreek Hill goes for 9 receptions, 172 yards with a spectacular 71-yard scamper to set up a score. I mean, if you watched this game, you know how much of a game changer Tyreek Hill is as a wide receiver. Yeah. This guy, I don't care how long you game plan. I don't care how long you spend going into a week trying to figure out how to stop it. You're not. Don't waste your time. This is the fastest guy on the football field, no matter what. His speed, his agility, nobody can keep up with this guy. And he proved that so well on... I mean... This offense is just one of the funnest offenses to watch in NFL history.
Without a doubt.
Travis Kelce, too. 13 receptions, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, find the open space and sit in it. He's so good at this, and he's done it for so many years in Kansas City. This big 3, I mean, you almost can't even game plan for it. It's just unreal. And one thing I want to point out that was super interesting to me, and Jim Nantz was the one that mentioned this or referenced this in the broadcast on Sunday. The Bills scored the first and last 9 points of the game. In between that span, Buffalo got outscored 38-6. Yeah. So coming into it in that beginning span in that first quarter, it looked like, oh, the Chiefs are in trouble. And I thought, goddamn Spike, you might have just proven me wrong. You but I mean, Kansas City punching their ticket to their second consecutive Super Bowl. I mean, they're gonna have They're going to have a tough one. We'll get to Super Bowl predictions in a second, but they're going to have a tough one against this Bucs D. But, you know, nonetheless, unreal job from Andy Reid and that whole entire Kansas City organization. And let's not forget about the defense.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Josh Allen. I mean, look how hot has he been coming into this conference championship game.
Exactly.
The Bills have been on fire,
Exactly.
and this guy has just been slinging the rock. And you know what? That was not the case. He looked rattled. He looked rattled. And one guy I want to point out specifically is Sorensen on Kansas City. This guy doesn't even look like a football player if you just, were to see him on the streets, but he just plays with such a scrappy attitude and has such a nose for finding the football. And you know what? It's not about the size of the dog, it's about the amount of fight in the dog. And this guy, I felt like, was an energizer for this defense, that for them to just come together and get the job done. So spectacular job again for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, as bright a future as any quarterback in NFL history. So
I don't think this is the last time we'll see Buffalo and Kansas City in the AFC Championship.
Oh, no.
I think both of these teams have so much potential, and Stephon Diggs was the only Bills player out there to watch the Chiefs celebrate the AFC Championship. So he's going to come back with vengeance, and I'm very excited to see both of these teams play next year. But before we get to next year, we've got one game left, and that's Super Bowl 55. In Tampa Bay, you've got the current GOAT, Tom Brady, against what could be the future GOAT, Patrick Mahomes. This Super Bowl is practically the passing of the torch.
absolutely, and not only is this Super Bowl the passing of the torch, but it's history.
It is.
This is the first time in NFL history that a team playing in the big dance has home field advantage. And it's going to be at Raymond James Stadium. Nice, warm, comfortable environment for Brady to sling that rock. Because we saw at Lambeau, that arm in the frozen tundra, it was not up to par.
No, it wasn't.
But look, this is essentially the equivalent of watching Michael Jordan square off against LeBron James in the NBA Finals. As he said, this is the passing of the torch. I can't freaking wait for this matchup. I know a lot of people would have never expected this to be your Super Bowl 55 contest. But with that being said, Spike, let's chop it up. Who you got?
I mean, without a doubt, this is not the Super Bowl I wanted, but the more we talk about it and the idea of passing the torch between Tom Brady and potentially his 7th ring, tying, teams for the most ever, but he's just one player compared to what Patrick Mahomes has done. And, we were talking about some stats for Patrick Mahomes and some interesting facts right before we hit record. That just blew us away. So the more we talk about it, the more it's getting interesting. And, last week I said, you don't bet against Tom Brady. And I did that last week, and I was proved wrong, but I can tell you, I'm not going to be wrong this week, but I am betting against Tom Brady. I'm going with the Chiefs. Andy Reid is about to get his revenge on Tom Brady from the 2004 Super Bowl. The weapons that Andy Reid has and the way that he plays just with so much passion. You go for it against the Browns, you go for it 4th and inches. And if you miss it, you potentially lose the game, but Andy Reid is the type of head coach to do that. And he has the team that can get it done. And, you said it yourself. Whatever the game plan is, you can't stop that big three. So, Patrick Mahomes, he'll be 100%. We don't know if he was 100% against the Bills, but he'll be 100% against the Bucks. And I'm 100% positive he's going to be raising his 2nd Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah. Listen, I have been so high on the Chiefs all year long, especially in this postseason, but I'm going to go against them.
Okay.
I'm going to make this decision with my mind and not my gut.
Right.
That being said, give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks. Look, as you said it yourself just a couple seconds ago, you cannot bet against the GOAT. He proved us both wrong this past weekend, but you know what? He's not proving me wrong again.
All right.
This in 2 weeks. So, look, it comes down to this. This defense is playing out of their freaking minds right now. I mean, again, it literally reminds me of the no-fly zone Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning at the helm.
Right.
This is the same sort of situation, and this defense has 2 weeks now to prepare for this prolific Kansas City offense. So I know I said no matter what you do, you can't game plan for them, and I think that is still true. But Bruce Arians is a hell of a coach. That defense is, coming together as a cohesive unit, especially in this postseason. And it's Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady in the Super Bowl at home. At home. And he's got, again, I said this a couple shows ago, he's got New England in the back of his mind. All right? He's done it for so many years in New England, brought him 6 rings, and, kind of left on a slippery slope there. He wants to prove that he can hoist a 7th Lombardi and do it without Bill Belichick. So I love the Chiefs, but you know what? Give me the damn Bucks. Give me the Bucks. I got Brady raising a 7th and making history.
It will be the passing of the torch, and it's going to be an incredible back-and-forth game. I am so excited for it. So that'll be Super Bowl 55. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes in Tampa. It's going to be a great one. And before we move on to the final segment of our show, real quick, we just want to mention our NBA MVP predictions. You can hear our breakdown in the previous episode on the podcast on Spotify. But real quick, Jace, as of right now, my MVP is Joel Embiid.
And rightfully so. I mean, Sixers at number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. These boys are playing out of their minds again right now, and I love it, baby. TTP, roll 60s. But I got Luka Doncic. We've seen his magic he put on for us in the bubble last season and into the postseason, nearly averaging a triple-double right now. And also to add, if he does win the MVP, he would be the youngest ever to do it at 21 years old, surpassing Derrick Rose in 2011 at 22 and a half. So we shall see. Check out the last podcast for an additional breakdown of our 2 MVP candidates. But let's transition into something relative to today, especially.
Yeah, so today is January 26th, and as we remember today, 1 year ago today, Kobe Bryant and all the others on that helicopter crash out in California. It's been a very rough year. 2020 everyone thought would be the year, and it seems like everything started to crumble after the passing of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, for me, it's just amazing to kind of realize after this whole year has passed now, and Kobe Bryant truly transcended the NBA in basketball.
Absolutely.
He was a larger-than-life figure, and it's just amazing how much he impacted so many individuals and so many aspects of society. I mean, this is one of the great leaders and just overall people we've seen come in just life in general. He was my favorite athlete of all time. It's the first jersey I ever owned as a kid. I still wear to this day a wristband in his honor. And it, just looking back at the year 2020, the Lakers, especially that Lakers organization, the whole Do It for Kobe mission, amidst the coronavirus pandemic, pushing back and putting the NBA on pause, and they still did it.
Right.
And they still did it. I mean, you can't make that up. You just, we remember a true, not just basketball legend, but a true legend.
Absolutely.
Of just society.
Right.
I mean, how much he impacted not just the NBA community, but all communities. I mean, this was one of the most, saddening and unexpected passing from such a cultural icon. And Kobe, I miss you. We all miss you. Gianna as well. Fly high, and every single individual on that helicopter. We miss you, and we wish you were here with us.
Yeah, it's weird to think that, us being who we are, our passion for sports, and not just, talking sports, but playing sports, and Kobe Bryant creating his legacy 15 minutes down the road from us, with both of us being that close to Lower Merion. So it's a tough subject for all sports fans, and it will be for a long time, knowing that he still had so much to do that he wanted to do. But everything comes to an end at some point, and what he left here and what we do for Kobe Bryant in the back of our heads is something special. So
absolutely, his mentality will forever live on, and fly high, Mamba, fly high. As I said, a guy we will never see the likes of again. So we miss you, bud.
Today we remember Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, and thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry to end it on a little bit of a sad note, but thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We've got Super Bowl 55 coming up in 2 weeks, and make sure you check out the previous podcast to hear our MVP NBA predictions. But that's going to do it for Do You Agree, the Sports Talk Show, Season 4, Episode 2 for you guys. I'm Collin Spiker alongside Jason Hoffman. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey, take it easy. Stay safe, fellas.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.